decentralized that was to kind of be opened into TAN with welcome arms and also rewarded for it as compensation with the tokens, because there is such a large percentage that we are looking to carve out for incentives for builders and creating that core team.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing. Resilience is a good idea. Anyone, really. Yeah, and one thing that I was really impressed with when with the Shimmer Treasury was, putting up bounties and seeing some of the community members and just, what was it like the it's been a while, but Seafair, who is it that's like the mathematician / retired? That's an amazing dev.
Houdini?
Yeah. So Houdini, like, I mean, we just put up bounty, said like, hey, we're looking to be able to, one, track how voting goes, two, kind of see the largest wallets and how they're voting, and see like a percentage in real time. And, you talk to a few people, that wanted it to be perfect and was like, oh, this would take months and it would be like $100,000. And Houdini whipped it out in just doing it on Discord. And I mean, really didn't even want anything, but I was like, no, like, you deserve to get this bounty, and did it in like a day and a half. I mean, I was so amazed. And there's so much talent in our community that I think goes unused and unappreciated, and that are just there to want to try to help build this. And, we see other communities that truly have a open code base on GitHub, and people can really develop together as a community, and there's just so much progress, and it happens quickly. And I think that's something that we should strive for here, and create, like Seafair said, create those incentive programs and create that structure for that, and also do that with the community, because again, with everything, there's always certain questions to be asked of, who sets up the bounties and how much and etc. But I think ultimately that should be our focus at first, is stay lean, sell as little as possible to fund things, and get as much of the community involved as possible. And I think, for tokens and networks that succeed, that's kind of how it really can take off, and then there's that tipping point, right? That any network gets to where all of a sudden there is a bit of volume, there is a bit of economics happening, to where now you can sell a little bit to fund things that cannot be paid for by tokens. There are things that you need to pay with US dollars, such as legal setups, lawyers, etc. Good question. I think I know it, but I'll let you answer it, Garrett. Will TAN be open source?
Definitely. I mean, currently, actually, we are like using the Tangle, and which is like fork of Alta and Shima, layer 1. So basically, we will like open it on GitHub, as it was like for Alta and Shima, and also like we have plan even for the validator plan. For that part, it will take a little bit longer, and also we need the DAO structure to choose the validator, etc. Yeah, but the entire plan is like it's open source and even decentralized. Yeah.
So yes, totally open source and fully decentralized. Which I think is ultimately, the true vision and dream of what crypto was meant to be. Open source, fully decentralized, a DAO structure, involving not having barriers of entry and gatekeepers. I mean,
permissionless.
Permissionless, exactly. Try to get away from this government corporate control.
I think you also asked for, can we get the spreadsheet with addresses and 10 airdrop token allocated based the snapshot? Yes, definitely. For this, I will get because originally we want to present it in a better looking way, but for that we will need like front end to make it on the website. But if we are okay to open it in Excel, I can get it really quickly. I will try to do that and share in the group in Discord. Yeah, so as anyone are interested to check it out. Yeah, and for this I still want to check because so like I think this also like stick to the first question that if we want to burn some token in proportional, in total. If not, actually, we just send out the airdrop as planned. The question is like the reason we want to like share 10% of the whole token supply is because we planned like initially we could sell 10% of the token in the market. However, it wasn't like going as the plan for this part. So for this, we can also like have a discussion and proposal to see if we want to stick to the original plan or we have a total token supply chain modification, things like that for the longer benefit. So this is also something maybe we can also discuss. Yeah, but for the snapshot token address and the IOTA or Shima token they have in the address pattern, for this part of information, definitely we can share the Excel. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's see.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Open holdings and addresses. And so maybe expand on that, Garrett. So, and I don't know the whole distribution. I haven't read the white paper. I mean, I read it like a month ago. But
Sure.
So there's a treasury, there's the airdrop, and then there was 10%. Maybe next time tokens should be sold with more transparency, like a fair launch model on Magic. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe let me explain a little more for this. So original plan, actually, we were now like planning to sell token at really high price, and because we think the early buyers are the early supporters. So basically, we were like only like intending to say if we could sell the first 10% for $500,000 as the like budget for the next few years plan, and the 10% equal to the launch proportion token will be distributed to IOTA Shima holders because these are the people also like believed in the Tangle vision. And another 80%, the biggest part is actually to be decided in a governance structure. For example, this amount can be some portion can be used for going onto leasing onto more exchanges. Some can be used for like attracting really good devs to build things on the Tangle, things like that. But everything will be governance instead of like a foundation to decide on everything. So this is like a plan. But for the launch, basically we sell token at higher price, but we didn't sell as many token. So basically, if we want to sell 10%, basically we only so like I need to check again the number, but like 0.something%. So we still have like a lot of token there to be distributed, but we are just worrying like they are not. If we don't like sell this token as planned, the price will come down. It will hurt like the early buyers and supporters. So maybe this is not a good plan. But there are some other very genius plans. I mean, we can think about like, for example, like if we decrease like the total amount we want to sell, like and burn some and use that part to raise some more fund at a price, which is not like at a very good price, things like that, but still like not as low as the early buyers of our token. I think this is something maybe like really good for the early buyers and also like for the project in a longer run and to make it more healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's a sensitive time, and like I feel like Sooniverse went through this too when they were trying to get their handed over to the community, but there wasn't as much, if the community wanted to sell some tokens, they kind of weren't allowed to.
I think for this part is a little bit different for that because actually Sooniverse actually they need to fund like a bigger dev team. So basically for the monthly costs or things like that, they are under really big pressure. And also maybe because Tangle Content told me like they didn't really plan really well for the initial structure, things like that. So basically I think the company is in the US probably. I think they need to pay quite some tax on the fundraising, things like that. Yeah. So for that we are quite big. So we still have different options now.
And I think when the time comes, the community can decide, how to pay for devs. If some needs to be sold, how much, how often, etc. But I think for Remix's question of like, well, what's next for TAN? I think ultimately for a DAO, you need a governance structure. And then I think just me personally, like, even to get to the point to hire devs, you need that DAO governance structure from the community to approve and vote for, how can we compensate those devs? Of course, now if there's community devs that just say, hey, I just want to help out now, and potentially can get rewarded retroactively, which is, I think Git has that ability to do that through voting. But I think the first steps, and I'm curious to hear other people, would be try to get as quickly as possible a governance structure to where the community and Discord can create a reward system potentially for developers that need it. And I think until then, the core team, I could be wrong, is going to maintain things. I also think that open source, I'm not a GitHub guy, but if there's someone in the community that can also, help, ensure that the GitHub is of a good standard and open source, etc. Again, that's us being able to leverage the talents in the community. Seafair, what do you think would be the next steps for us?
Big +1 on what you just said about getting a governance structure in place, and also anybody who would like to step up and help throughout this process. It's an open invite to join in and really help kind of shape the incentive mechanisms and how we want to approach some of these first steps with open sourcing and also attracting additional talent. That will include part of the roadmap. As you all might have seen on our TAN white paper, we have a now, next, and later kind of approach to sharing what we had in mind for the white paper. But those items, how they're sequenced best for the community, also will be really good to discuss, because the bounties that we put out for different devs will be based on where we as a community think we can add the most value quickest in each of those. So really just a call to action for anybody who wants to step up and participate in this process. Please raise your hand, and we really want to work with you to kind of drive the future of this, starting with the governance structure.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think if we go back to the beginning of the meeting, we were saying, do we want to take a slow approach but perfect approach, or do we want to take a fast approach and it's not going to be so perfect? And I think that's the foundation of how we will get to from point A to point F, A, B, C, D. And okay, so if we want to wait until we build a perfect voting system, token voting system with Bloom, then we really can't make any decision for a while. I kind of am one to sway on, in the beginning, the more loose way, which would be, either voting in Discord or, discourse, or just multiple voting, but keep it all transparent, And I think at the end of the day, if, people can make multiple Discord IDs, but we did tons of internal votes in Discord on Twitter, and I never saw a vote really because it's transparent. So no one's going to vote, give, Mr. Storm, 30% of the token supply. It's going to be simply, hey guys, we're thinking of rewarding some devs with TAN tokens, and then we're thinking this many TAN tokens A, this many TAN tokens B, this many TAN tokens C, maybe stuff like that. Or, hey, we need to do voting, so we're thinking to use some TAN tokens to what do you call it? Pay for one of the Discord voting, implementations. Or is there anyone that can create that as an integration in our Discord, etc. And then we start going into governance and we build it. I think we should just build it like we did actually with the Shimmer. We have a pretty good framework. I think we basically use that framework, but then